to the Vault XL. This is a three-part live. Jimmy Kimmel, he's been given the boot from ABC. He made some commentary pertaining to the shooter, Tyler Robinson, comparing him to MAGA fans. So I'm trying to figure out why he was canned for making this comparison, because it wasn't about Mr. Kirk. So I'm trying to figure out why would you fire him? Because he's comparing Tyler to MAGA fans. That wasn't about Charlie Kirk. Anywho, that's the latest pertaining to Jimmy Kimmel. I really hate to hear that because I like Jimmy Kimmel, and I'm praying that he does well in his endeavors. But this is getting out of control now, with firing somebody from their lucrative job when his commentary wasn't even about Charlie Kirk. Cardi B, she is pregnant with baby number 4. She is still obviously still married to rapper Offset as of this month, 2025, September. The divorce has not been finalized. She is obviously pregnant by Mr. Stephon Diggs, football player, pro player for New England Patriots. I do think it's kind of soon, considering she just had a baby last September 7th, 2024, and to be now pregnant with a new guy. That's just my personal opinion. Seems a bit rushed, but if it works, it works. If it doesn't, hey, everybody will keep it moving. And number 3, this Tesla nonsense. This is some crazy stuff. This is like made for TV. This rapper David and this young girl, one report says she's 13, one report says she's 15. I'm not here to argue which age it is. Obviously, she's underage. Information of TMZ zooming in on a picture of the word shh on his finger, and she has that also on her finger, the remains that were found in that Tesla. We learned that the Tesla was parked on the street for about 3 days before a tow truck was called. This is some weird SHIT. The car was there for 3 days, okay, on this street with dead body parts in the front of the Tesla, the front trunk, as you want to call it, frunk. And tow guy comes and gets the car. But what doesn't make any sense, why would it take 3 days to say, oh, I think I smell something while it's on the tow lot? You mean to tell me you didn't smell a dead body when you were loading the car up on the tow truck? Are you serious? I find that very odd and suspicious my damn self. Okay, so it gets to the tow lot because somebody obviously called in this car being parked for a couple of days. Nobody's getting in and out of it, moving it. You know how these neighbors are. They're watching everything. Okay, so car gets moved by the tow company. They let it sit for about 3 days on the tow lot until somebody goes by this car, I guess a staff member, and oh, it stinks. Now, mind you, when it was on the street, I believe somebody said something about it being an odd smell as well. I still can't understand why the tow guy didn't smell remains when he loaded the car up, because you have to make contact with the vehicle to put it up on the flatbed or however they towed it. So help me understand how you don't smell remains in the car. Anywho, they believe, or what has been said, excuse me, a head was in the trunk, a torso was in the trunk, and possibly, I guess, a hand or fingers that had that same tattoo. Now, other celebrities have been named to have the same tattoo, so I don't know if this is some popular tattoo that people are going around putting on their fingers, wrists, ankles, wherever. But what's interesting is that we have a rapper who obviously didn't know his car was on this public street with a dead person chopped up inside of it. And the dead person has the same type of tattoo that he has, and these two have been linked together. She's been missing, runaway, for 1.5 years, 17 months, if I'm not mistaken. Make it make sense. So now you got to ask, why was she running away? What type of home life did she have? Who are her parents? Was she living with a mother, a father, grandparents? Whom? Are we going to find out she was pregnant? Could this be a motive for unaliving the young lady? I don't know, just throwing that out there, because what I'm trying to tell myself, if you're talking about a 13, 15-year-old dating a grown damn man, what would be one of the motives for unaliving a young person under the age of 18? I'll let that sit right there. Exactly. Uh-uh. They'll prove it's mine. Now I got a statutory rape charge. Then I got to worry about my career. Possibly she was collateral damage. I don't know. Just throwing out a theory. He's up and coming. TikTok sensation. I've never heard of it. And obviously he's not going to be very important after this. I heard that a concert was canceled, I believe, in Washington State, and that he is cooperating with authorities. But I got a funky feeling that this alleged tour that's supposed to be ongoing is getting ready to come to a halt. Because if indeed he has ties to this young lady, people can tie him with her, family, friends, whomever. I don't see him continuing on a tour, because the police are going to want to talk to him. They're going to want to be keeping up with his whereabouts. And when you're talking about traveling around, you have access to money, funds. I don't know if he has a passport or not. Hell no. They are not going to want this boy moving about. You understand what I'm saying? Did he unalive this young lady? If he did unalive her, why did he unalive her? Or somebody else unalived her? And if somebody else unalived her, who might that person be? They're searching a house near where the car was parked. So they were bringing out evidentiary material from that said house. What have they gathered? Whose house is it? Is it linked to this deceased young lady? Where are the other body parts? Shut your mouth. There's also a mention of another Honda of a person disposed in a trunk in another tow yard or tow facility. Somebody asked that question, Banfield, are these two connected or just coincidence? Is it a female victim? This is all getting real creepy and really, really crazy. What's going to be sad is if indeed he unalived this girl. Really, it's not going to matter who unalived her, because the fact is, she's a child. You have no reason to unalive a child or even an adult. Dismember their body parts and then put them in a trunk of a car and then park the car. So what I have to ask this David fella, did you report your car missing? Because if he's going to play dumb and say, well, I didn't know my car was missing. I had it parked at such and such place, so I didn't know it was gone. Then you got to ask that question. Where did he park the car? His home, somebody else's home? Did he loan the car to somebody? Did the young lady have access to the car? She was a runaway. Was she staying in one of his homes, condos or something? Don't know if she was driving, had a driver's permit. So I'm just throwing out all possibilities pertaining to this young lady, Miss Celeste Rivas. Excuse me for not mentioning her name. As I said, different articles are saying 13, 15. It's all the same to me. A 20-year-old don't have no business with a child. He had no business talking to her, looking at her, and God forbid, having sexual relations with her. And I got a feeling they're going to be able to tie him into her through data, phone pings, geofencing, other people that knew her. She probably told somebody she was dating them, liked them. Why was she running away from home? That definitely needs to be addressed. Why is this child running away from her house? Who did she live with? What type of problems were going on in her home? Abuse? What type of abuse? Neglect? And then we need to ask the ultimate question, was she with child? And could that be a possible motive for why Miss Rivas is not alive? Because her remains have been ID'd. This is some terrible business. It's always horrific to find out that a person has been unalived in a brutal manner. But you're talking about a child, a girl child. Then the child was running away from home. Then she's found thrown in a trunk, cut up like garbage, put in a plastic bag. Don't know where the rest of her remains are. Linked to this up and coming rapper. Now they say there's something about him he's made a song about her. So we got a tattoo that's matching and an alleged song about her. This is getting deeper and deeper and jacked up. All the way jacked up. That's the latest, everybody. Celeste Rivas has been ID'd as the remains in that Tesla. Investigation ongoing. Mr. David is still on tour. Washington State concert has been canceled. I've read a few comments where one young lady was saying she was throwing up because she listened to his music, liked him. Sorry about the background. She liked his music. She said, I just can't believe all the time he was singing about a young girl, and possibly grooming. So I feel sick to my stomach. That's one post I read. And I guess that would make anyone with some sense, common sense, empathy, feel bad. I've been listening to this person's music, and they've been talking about a young girl who's underage, which is RAPE. I think he's doomed himself. I think they're going to find out a whole lot about this David character. Probably going to find out a lot more about this young lady, their interactions with one another. I'm sure they're talking to many people who know both of them, and you can best believe somebody's going to put both of them together. And also, I heard they've got video surveillance of him on that, I think on her street, on her street where she was, or where she was last seen, something like that. I'll put a correction at the bottom of this video if I rehear that information. But they've got him on video, CCTV footage, near either her home or where that car was found. What in the hell is going on out here? Every day you hear the worst, horrific stories of brutality against man, woman, child. But to kill a kid and dismember her body and put it in a damn trunk of a car, and then the car gets towed, and I got this sick feeling that he unalived this kid, and he did what he did to the body, abused the corpse, put her in that plastic bag, put her in that trunk, front trunk, went and parked that car, probably in the AM in the dark, and left it. Then you got to ask how he got from there. How far is it from where he lived? Because only a fool would put her in the trunk of a car and park it on their own street where they live. That would be really stupid. But hey, we got some dodo birds out here. How far is his actual home where he lived from where the Tesla was towed? I'd like to know that. This is some deep SHIT. This is some deep SHIT. And let's just go out on a limb and say, or I'll say, if he was messing around with this girl sexually, he knew the ramifications, and he knew he was eventually going to get caught up. Because one, she's underage and she's running away. He knew there was going to be a fallout. And I got a sick feeling that is why that child's not alive. Because he knew the bang was going to come. And if she was with child, how is he going to explain, one, having possession of a child, carrying a child, on the road, traveling, up-and-coming musician? He didn't have time for her. Possibly wouldn't have had time for any female. You understand what I'm saying? This is a hot butter mess. Did this rapper unalive Celeste Rivas? Okay? She's been missing from her home over a month and a half. A year and a half. That car sat there on that street allegedly for 3 days before it was towed with her remains in it. Went to the tow yard, and then 3 more days went by before authorities were called due to an odor. And I still find that bizarre that a tow guy didn't smell it when he walked up on the damn car to retrieve the car. Who called in for this car? How about that? Who walked by the car and smelled something, thinking it was a dead animal up under there or crawled in there? Who's that person? Will they be revealed? Hell, do they even fear for their safety? Because they might feel, fear for their safety. Like, shame, I don't want to be revealed. I don't know who this fool is. He might be 20 years old, but if he unalived her, he might send a henchman. You don't know because you don't know people. And that's the one thing a person has to be leery of, is getting their name out there to the media that they saw something, witnessed something, saw him walking, parking the car, whatever. And I get that. Because, see, he's not in custody. Officials are just probably, speaking with him. But there has not been a formal arrest to the unaliving of Miss Rivas. Prayers, condolences to the family, her friends. This is some bizarre SHIT. We've had one female speak, highly of her, being a fun girl. Naturally, she had a whole life ahead of her. Don't know what obstacles she was trying to overcome, or what her family life was like, or what she was going through. But this ain't the way a kid needs to end up. This ain't the way for nobody to end up, unless you've been out here doing some salacious SHIT to somebody and they're wanting retribution. Some will still argue, well, you still ain't supposed to, murder a person because they did something to you, said something. But, we live in a society where it doesn't take much to set people off, such as this Charlie Kirk nonsense with Mr. Tyler Robinson. Mr. Robinson didn't like whatever he was saying, and he went and unalived this man, which was a grave mistake because he's forfeited a whole human life and plus his own life and freedom over somebody's commentary. Charlie Kirk is 1% of the world. He was not worth unaliving. Because what you're doing is showing the devil that you are bothered. And that's something you don't want to do, is give the devil the upper hand. So he showed Mr. Kirk that he was bothered by what he was saying. And I wouldn't have gave a damn about what Mr. Kirk had to say. There are things I have heard and seen out his own mouth in commentary days ago I did not care for. But I personally wouldn't have gone out looking for him, to unalive him because he was making derogatory comments about black people flying planes and if they're qualified, a pilot. He said ugly things about LeBron James being an NBA player and probably had numerous women. Very disrespectful things to black people. Hypothetical things about black people that don't make no sense. Why is every time you do these debates, that has to come up in your commentary? What if what? Black people the only thing that your only subject matter in debates? I'm just saying. What if what? What if you see a black man flying a plane, your pilot is black? So what? So what if he's Asian? So what if he's Hispanic? So what? How's that a topic of discussion? Is he qualified? Sounded like that. I didn't like the LeBron James comment that he's basically was a whoremonger because he's played NBA, because NBA players mess around. Well, you can't say that. And so I'm the type of person, once I heard these comments from Mr. Kirk, I didn't need to go look for any more commentary, debates, because I already saw things about him from his own tongue I didn't like. And I don't want to engage. I really don't even like talking about him. Because that's one thing I don't do, is try to engage in foolishness. And to me, engaging even now, talking about him, to me, is foolishness. And some people I've heard tonight were saying, this man, that people are acting like this man was Jesus. That's what one of my neighbors said tonight. Like, what was going on with all this, now Jimmy Kimmel, blah, 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 being fired. Some of you people are acting like he was Jesus. And some people may think that. And I get it. Nobody should be rooting for a person to be dead. But what did I tell you about the death penalty? People root for the death penalty. I'm a death penalty rooter. I feel like some people do deserve it. But somebody might disagree with me and say, well, nobody should take a life. It should be God's job. And which, that's true. It should be God's job. But somebody can still disagree with the death penalty. Sticking a needle in the arm of a person who's unalived others, sexually assaulted others, children. Then there's Miss Cardi B. She's with fourth child by Mr. Stephon Diggs. Weigh in. Too soon to be knocked up by another man, pregnant, again, and you just had a baby last year, September 2024. Now, some will say, well, she's grown. She can do what she wants. Yes, she can. Yes, she can. She will. But I still think it's soon when you haven't finalized your divorce and you're still trying to work, put out a new album. You still have 3 more children to take care of. You're willing and dealing, taking care of these kids. I don't think I would have gotten pregnant by anyone, Mr. Diggs or the husband, soon-to-be ex-husband, Mr. Offset. No, I'd have been working, trying to better my circumstances, make more money, take care of my children, date Mr. Diggs, see where it goes, see how it works out. Now, she said they were talking about children, wanting children, which I find very interesting because you got to remember it was football season when they met last year. So I was thinking to myself, they probably didn't have that much time to spend with one another, valuable time until football season ended. So how do you go from football season, dating, courting, finally coming out in public, then letting the world know you're dating and you're knocked up? Because she's got to be at least 4 months pregnant because they said she's going to give birth February of 26 before she does some type of tour or something. So that looks like about 4 months or so pregnant. I just find that interesting. 4 months pregnant and you just gave birth last September to a baby by your damn husband. I'm just saying. Those are my opinions. 3-part live, everybody. Cardi B, pregnant by Mr. Stefan Diggs. She seems happy. He seems happy. Jimmy Kimmel has been canned by ABC because of a conversation he had on his own show about Tyler Robinson and MAGA fans, not necessarily Charlie Kirk. I think it was wrong to fire him because the comment that I read was in reference to Tyler Robinson, not Charlie Kirk. But anyway, he's gone. And as somebody said to me today, he ain't hurting for nothing and he ain't losing nothing. Exactly. Then there's this Tesla debacle, mystery, macabreness. Celeste Rivas has been ID'd as the remains inside of that trunk. And I do believe she has some affiliation with this David rapper. And I got a sick feeling he knows a lot about how she got in that damn trunk. A whole lot. I'll bring you an update. I'll bring you some shorts. Follow me in the Newsbreak app. Follow me here on YouTube. Take the polls on my community page. I will put up a poll. Do you think he unalived her? Then I'll put up a poll. What was the motive? I'll also put up a poll about Mr. Kimmel and Cardi B. Thank you for joining me. Like, share, subscribe. Drop your comments below this video. And if you'd like to donate to this great network, $BigAngie129 Cash App. Secrets and chats are always welcome during the live stream. Thank you all for the love and support. And thank you for following me on the Newsbreak app. I'm now a little bit over 800 followers over there. So I appreciate the love and you all tuning in to me. And I thank you for those who follow me on the Newsbreak app that have jumped over here and followed me to YouTube. Thank you. I appreciate it. When I get an update on all these stories, I will bring them to you. Once again, prayers for Miss Rivas' family. My sincerest condolences to her family because this is horrific and that child did not deserve to die the way she did. Well, remains anyway. I don't know what her actual manner of death is. She didn't deserve that. She didn't deserve that at all. And all I'm going to say is, Mr. David, if you are the culprit, may God have mercy on your soul. May God have mercy on your soul. Because that's a trifling SHIT. What was done to that baby? I'm out of here, everybody. Thank you for your time. You've been listening to Product Sale. Thank you.